Some wounds don't come from what happened. They come from what didn't happen. No one picked you up when you cried. No one noticed when you went quiet. No one stayed consistent long enough for your body to feel safe. That is abandonment. And it doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a parent who was physically present but emotionally unavailable. Sometimes it looks like being left alone too soon. Sometimes it looks like love that was conditional, inconsistent, or unpredictable. This isn't about blaming, it's about understanding. Because unhealed abandonment doesn't stay in childhood, it quietly shapes adulthood. Abandonment is not just being left, it's the repeated experience of not being emotionally held when needed. It can be a caregiver who disappears physically, for example, passes away, has an addiction, is incarcerated, or leaves. A caregiver who is emotionally absent, for example, being depressed, overwhelmed, critical, or dismissive. Love that shows up sometimes and vanishes other times. For a child, consistency equals safety. When consistency breaks, the nervous system learns connection is unreliable. A child cannot say, "My parent is emotionally limited," so the child concludes, "Something must be wrong with me." That belief becomes the root of many adult struggles. Let's talk about how abandonment shapes the nervous system. Abandonment doesn't just affect thoughts, it wires the body. The nervous system learns to live in hypervigilance, anxiety, emotional self-protection. Common patterns are always scanning for signs of rejection, overreacting to small shifts in tone or behavior, feeling calm only when others are pleased. This is not weakness, this is survival intelligence. The body learns, I have to stay alert so I don't get left again. Let's get into how it shows up in adult relationships. 1. Fear of being too much or not enough. People with abandonment wounds often oscillate between overgiving, over-explaining, over-performing, pulling away, shutting down, disappearing emotionally. They may think, if I ask for too much, I'll be left. If I show my needs, I'll be rejected. So they abandon themselves first. 2. Attraction to emotionally unavailable people. Not because they want pain, but because familiar feels safe. Unpredictable love matches the nervous system's early conditioning. Healthy love can feel boring, uncomfortable, suspicious, because peace wasn't modeled. 3. Interpreting neutral events as rejection. A delayed text, a short reply, a change in routine. The mind says, I did something wrong. This is not intuition. This is trauma memory. Let's talk about how abandonment affects self-worth. Abandonment teaches children that love must be earned, so worth becomes tied to productivity, being useful, being agreeable, being low maintenance. Internally, the belief sounds like, if I were better, they would have stayed. This belief is false, but deeply ingrained. As adults, this can look like perfectionism, difficulty resting, guilt when receiving care, feeling undeserving of healthy love. Abandonment doesn't just affect relationships, it affects how the world is perceived. Common lenses are, the world feels unsafe. People are temporary. Trust must be earned slowly or never. This can lead to emotional independence taken too far, difficulty asking for help, belief that relying on others is dangerous. The unspoken rule becomes, I can only count on myself. Let's look at it from a CBT reframe, separating the past from present, a core CBT principle. Thoughts formed in survival are not facts. For example, an automatic thought might be, they're pulling away, I'm about to be abandoned. Pause and ask yourself, what evidence supports this? What evidence contradicts this? Is this a present event or a past wound being activated? New thought. This feeling makes sense, but it doesn't mean it's true. Let's get into some real-life examples. Example number 1, the over-apologizer. Someone apologizes for expressing needs. They say sorry for taking space. They fear inconvenience. Root belief, my needs make people leave. Example number 2, the self-silencer. Someone avoids conflict at all costs. They tolerate mistreatment. They minimize their feelings. Root belief, if I speak up, I'll lose connection. Lastly, example number 3, the hyper-independent one. Someone refuses help. They pride themselves on needing no one. Root belief, depending on others leads to disappointment. Healing abandonment is not about forcing trust. It's about building safety internally first, and here's how to do so. 1. Reparenting the nervous system. This means predictable routines, gentle self-talk, following through on promises to yourself. Safety is built through consistency. 2. Learning to stay when emotions rise. Instead of abandoning yourself, name the feeling, slow the body, ground in the present, say, I'm triggered, not in danger. 3. Reality testing thoughts, a CBT tool. Ask, is this familiar or factual? What would I tell a child feeling this way? Compassion interrupts trauma loops. Healing changes who feels attractive. Green flags may include consistency, emotional availability, calm communication. At first, this can feel unfamiliar. That's okay. Healing is learning to tolerate peace, a truth that changes everything. You were not abandoned because you were unlovable. You were abandoned because someone lacked the capacity to show up. That distinction matters. Nothing about your worth was ever missing. If abandonment shaped you, it doesn't get the final word. Awareness creates choice. Choice creates freedom. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to disappear to be kept. You don't have to stay guarded forever. Healing is not becoming someone new. It's returning to who you were before survival took over. Be free.